Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Ford Mustang Ecoboost. And is it a good car? Well, look, I'm going to show you some things and tell you some things, and then I'll let you decide whether it's a good car or not, and then I'll give you my opinion at the end. So without further ado, let's just take a quick look at the outside of this car, then we'll hop back in and talk about more stuff. Alright guys, now that we've taken a look at what it looks like, how about driving? What is the drivability of this car? How is it? Well, don't worry, I'm going to try to show you everything possible in this car to kind of give you the full experience of being in this car or owning this car. So let's get into the drivability of the car. Alright guys, so right now the car is in drive and we're driving. So how does it feel? What does it sound like? Here's what happens if you take it up to 3,000 RPM. Not too bad. This is normal drive mode, and people who tell you there is no difference between sport, drive, and sport, and people who tell you there's no difference between sport plus and sport and track, these people are completely wrong. So let's just take it all the way back and put it in sport. Guys, now we're gonna put the car in sport, okay, and we're gonna give it a bit of a launch. All right, so without further ado, let's put it in sport. Okay, can we stop? Here we go. All right, brakes in, gas, and off we go. Okay, I lost some traction there, and we're already at 100 now. I don't know how long that took. Shouldn't have taken a bit over 6 seconds, because that will be concerning for me. But yeah, sport really does a massive difference. Now, here's a couple of things I need to tell you about the car when you put it in sport. Alright guys, so we just launched the car in sport, and since there is really no manual mode in the car, so how does this work? Well, once you put it in sport and you touch the paddle shifters, the car will no longer shift automatically. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna manually shift. So it's not gonna shift on its own. So we're gonna drop shift to first gear, and it's not gonna change gears. You have to do it yourself. So this is something really cool for these people who enjoy manually shifting their cars. I mean, it is a cool thing to have, but if you do it by accident and you're stopped at a light and you just kind of floor your car and it's not shifting and you're like, what is going on? It could be a bit of a pain, but otherwise it's a fun thing. For me, I don't use it all the time, but I do use it sometimes. I think that the car can shift a lot better than I can. That's why I just keep it in normal sport. However, in sport plus and track mode, you can't do that, which is, it's weird. You'd really need to manually shift in track mode, because if you take the car to the track, you'd want to shift yourself. So I don't know about that, Ford. Really, you should have thought a little bit more about that, but it's okay. It's okay. By me, it's fine. But some other people are very picky with these things. Alright guys, let's test out the handling of this car. Since it is a rear wheel drive car, and it's a muscle car, and muscle cars are known to have bad handling. So we're gonna find out if that's true or not. We're gonna take it out on the road right now, and we're just gonna try hitting a couple of corners, and you guys will still be seeing footage from the action camera, so less of my face, more of the action. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so right now we're stopped at a light, but we're coming up to one of my favorite corners. The corner that really almost killed everyone I know, and it doesn't matter what's your driving experience, it's very difficult to kind of handle into that corner. So we're gonna test it out on camera. If this video doesn't come out, it means I probably ended up on the other side of the road, but if it did, I have successfully made it. So let's see. So we're coming up right now. If you guys can see, we're gonna take a right. And now, look, you have to apply some brakes for sure, but look, it's a pretty weird corner, to be honest with you. But look at that, the car handles just fine. I don't know if you guys saw, I wasn't really jumping around all that much. So it's definitely a nice car to handle. It handles very well, and we're just coming in very aggressive. Traction is working as it should, because it wouldn't be such a pleasant thing if traction decided not to work right now. Especially that I'm driving with one hand and recording with the other and looking down at the action camera to still check if it's still in place. But other than that, I mean, we're good to go. Now I'm gonna talk to you guys about more of the infotainment system side of this car. So let's get into it.
Alright guys, moving on to the infotainment system. Now, I have reviewed some good cars with good infotainment systems on the main channel. So, you know, if we would compare this infotainment system to some other infotainment systems, like for example the Hyundai Veloster, I think the Hyundai Veloster would win, just because it's a newer model, but really you can't compare the two. So if we just take a look at the basic things you get here, unfortunately I don't have Apple CarPlay. I don't know why, because this car came from America, so the things that work there don't really work here. But whatever, we're just going to take a quick look at the things you have. You have your settings, sound, you have a clock, you have Bluetooth and a 911 dial assist, which really you don't need here. You have your radio, your mobile apps, which does not work, because this car again is American, so everything really has to be American for it to work. I don't know the secret sauce behind it, but there's just something to make it work, and I could never figure it out. And then you have your general, which just has some very boring information for you, or very little to do for you. You can just change the language, you can do the distance in kilometers. This is for checking how much gas you have, and you have your temperature, and you have like the touchscreen beep, like when that's the beep. I really like the beep, so I keep it on. There's an automatic system update and all that, so really nothing special at all. Then you have voice control, which could be useful sometimes. I mean, I've never used it before, but here's some of the things that you could do. Climate set temperature 20 degrees.
Did you say 20 degrees?
Yes.
Setting temperature to 20 degrees.
So you kind of see the things you can do here. To be honest with you, it's a little, in my opinion, it's useless. I've never used it before. This was the first time I've ever tried this. And yeah, moving on back to settings, and then we take it. And then moving on to the second page, you have Wi-Fi vehicle display in valet mode. Now look, vehicle seems like you can see some cool things about the car. It's the most disappointing thing ever. Camera settings. That's all you get. When you press on vehicle, the only thing you get is camera settings, which has to do the least with the vehicle, like camera settings. But what you can get here is the rear camera delay. You can have that off or on. I have it on. I don't know why, because I don't think I've ever seen this before. Wi-Fi, you can connect to the Wi-Fi, which is, I don't know why you can connect to the Wi-Fi. Like, what are you going to do? Maybe you can, use the GPS within the car while using the Wi-Fi. It has to do something with that. But display, you have your night mode and you have your day mode. So this is what it looks like in daytime, if you were to set the infotainment system to day mode light, or you can keep it at night. I always keep it at night all the time. It's always at night, because the day mode looks like it's a toy car. I don't know why. You can increase the display brightness. I don't know why I keep it down, but I guess when I'm driving I like the car dark. But yeah, really, this is kind of all you can do from the settings of the infotainment system. I would show you apps, but I don't have Apple CarPlay. So we'll just move on to the climate controls, okay? Climate control area over here, you've got a bunch of things you can do. First of all, you've got heated seats and you've got cooled seats. So this is really a luxury, and I don't know if it comes with the Ecoboost Premium only or not. This is the Ecoboost Premium, as you can tell by the screen. But other than that, you have fairly simple climate controls. Really, there is nothing all that special going on. But the good thing is there's nothing that complicated going on as well, which is a good thing sometimes. Because, for example, BMW, they have the most annoying climate controls ever. Like, they just make it very advanced. Like, you need a degree in knowing how to control climate controls in order to, you know, kind of fix one up in a BMW. So these cars are fairly simple. Don't forget that it's a cheap car. So a lot of the stuff inside this car is cheap quality or low quality, but you know what, it doesn't really bother me, because I'm in for the engine, I'm in for, you know, for the how the car drives. You know, the infotainment system looks cool to me. In my opinion, I really like it. So I don't know about you, but look, it's functional, it does what it has to do. It's a touch screen, it's very responsive. But yeah, as for climate controls, back to that, you just have the basics. You just have what you'd expect to have, nothing too special, nothing too specific. You can control the temperature and how you want the air distribution, and you can connect also the power of the AC. You can also do it manually from down there. But yeah, but really that's all about it when it comes to climate control in this car. Now moving on to audio, okay? I don't know why I want to show you this, but just so you get to see everything. You have AM, FM, this Cyrus that you only get in America. So a lot of things you get in America in this car, but not here. Because again, this car is American specs, and I live in the UAE, so it kind of makes sense that not everything that works in America works here. You get a CD insert that you can, you know, kind of put your CD in here. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but you can put your CD in here. Now I've got it covered up because I put this carbon fiber thing, so it's really covered up, but I don't use CDs in any way possible, so there's no way I'm going to be putting a CD in there anytime soon. And then you have Bluetooth, have multiple devices and all that, so it's nice. Bluetooth is good. That's what I use all the time. Some people, they go more for the USB AUX kind of thing. Now, if you would go for an AUX or a USB, it would appear here. But yeah, that's it for the infotainment system.
Alright guys, moving on to fuel efficiency. Now, I'm not really the most fuel efficient person. In fact, I drive like an idiot when it comes to fuel efficiency. I cannot save fuel for my life. So please, start taking care of your car. Drive slow, drive nice. I'm joking, do whatever you want. This is a fun car. You don't buy this car to drive slow. This is one thing I'm trying to tell people. This car is genuinely fast. Like, the car is not slow for a first car. But without further ado, let's just take a quick look. Alright guys, so as you can see right there, I'm doing 6.5 kilometers per liter. So moral of the story is, the way you drive is the way you're going to be using your gas. That's just, I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes sense to me. So if you're going to drive nice and slow, you're not going to be burning through your RPMs 24/7. You're going to have some good gas mileage, and the car is fuel efficient, kind of. It's not really the most fuel efficient thing ever if you're going to drive recklessly, or you're going to be speeding the whole time. But if you take it slow and you're just enjoying your time, the gas tank will last a bit. Now, if I'm having a very good week, a gas tank can last me up to 5 days. If I'm having a very bad week, and by the way, I'm going out every single day, but 1 week I'm just taking things slow, it would last me up to 5-6 days even. But let's put it this way, if my friends are around and we're all together, the gas tank will last up to 3 days at most. But yeah. Alright guys, since I'm almost out of battery, I'm gonna try to show you these things real quick, because I know this is what most people like about the Ford Mustang. You have your hazard light, your traction control, your steering wheel feel, and your driving modes. And with modes, you really have to just lift that up. You get normal, sport plus, track mode, and snow wet for when it's raining or snowing or whatever, which rarely happens here. But yeah, really, these are all the buttons. They don't go down, they only go up. So hazard light up, hazard light down, traction control off, traction control is back on. So they're very useful, and they do really feel like you're flying a jet, if that makes sense. It's a cool thing to have in your car, especially if you're a younger guy, because this is just the cool thing, and your friends come in, you're like, oh, look at these buttons, all those things. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Now, the only reason why I didn't show you guys the engine or show you much more things is just because I want to make an in-depth review of this car. So I want to make sure I do leave some stuff for the review. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you put a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to leave a link down below to our main channel where we do actual car reviews. And yeah, see you guys next video.